MT just donated $10. If Paulie, keep up the good work. I love your insight and agree with you most of the time. However, is there a reason for the Pac-Man hate? Did it stem from Wildcard?
MT, no, definitely not Wildcard. As a matter of fact, I think I'll put it to you like this, and this is just, again, my opinion. It's also not just my opinion. It's also with people that I know that have been in that circle, and I can't name their names, unfortunately, because I'm going to throw them under the bus if I do that, and I wouldn't want to do that to anybody, but I'm in the business, I'm in the circle, and like people tell me things that not even the media finds out, because there's certain things you won't tell the media that, because you don't want it to be broadcasted out. So even reporters and media journalists and whatnot don't know some of the things that guys like me know, especially somebody like me, where I'm not trying to pump myself up, but I'm a talkative person, I'm an engaging person. So guys will talk to me and discuss things with me and share things with me in locker rooms and in gyms, then that, and also they just know that, they respect my knowledge. They'll talk to me about things that they won't talk to most other people about. I have a good relationship with most fighters and most people in the gym. Now, honestly speaking, with the wild card situation, I was treated like aces at wild card. Honestly, Freddie was terrific, and I wasn't sure how I would be received over there, because I had issues with what I was saying about Pacquiao, and also I had fought Amir Khan, remember, and I was saying certain things in the Amir Khan press conferences as well that stem both from the Pacquiao stuff and that. So, and at that, that was kind of fresh off of the Amir Khan fight, actually, and I went there later in the year after losing to Amir Khan. And I didn't go train with Freddie because Freddie was very, very busy at that time. He had so many fighters. I mean, Freddie was like the most sought-after guy in 2010, But I met Eric Brown, and I thought he was a very capable trainer and goes down as one of my better trainers that I've had. Actually, I won a world championship with Eric in the Sinchenko fight. And I really clicked with Eric. And I clicked with Eric both as a person and as a trainer. You know what I'm saying? He was a very good guy, and a very caring person and a very capable trainer. And also a trainer that knows how to be a boss, knows how to take command. Because I feel like a trainer also knows how to do that too. Eric has that boss mentality about him where it's like, okay, we do this like this, and, but at the same time, he's still willing to have a conversation about certain techniques and aspects of that, because I'm a different fighter at 30 years old than I am at 20 years old. At 30 years old, I ask a lot more questions because I have a lot more on the fundamental understanding of the technical stuff we're going to be learning and working on, And Eric had that boss mentality, but at the same time, he also had the humility to kind of have that conversation with you. And we clicked very well, honestly, me and Eric. But nonetheless, going to the Pacquiao stuff, which Eric also was very big on Pacquiao. Eric had done some work with Pacquiao alongside Freddie. Pacquiao was a guy who was loved there, and I didn't go there disrespecting anything. I was treated terrific. I didn't ask for any special treatment at Wildcard. I remember some of the champions, like some of the even the elite guys like Chavez Jr., even Amir Khan, wanted their own time at Wildcard, where when they trained, they didn't want to anybody else in the gym, And at that time, Wildcard was not 2 floors. Now it has 2 floors. At that time, the first floor was just a laundry room. So if an elite fighter wanted to train at Wildcard, they had to basically reserve the gym and not let anybody else in. I never asked for that, honestly. Every time I trained in Wildcard, and I think they liked that about me. I didn't ask for the gym to be cleared out. I didn't ask for my own time session. I just wanted to train, and I liked training in a packed gym. I've always done better in my life when I trained in packed gyms. I don't know why, bro. Even in Gleason's gym, when I was training there, I had the best time of my career as far as learning and getting better. And Wildcard was another thing like that, where I kind of had a rejuvenation period where I was just in there and I was training alongside everybody, and I felt like it made me better. I needed that atmosphere. The quiet atmosphere was no good for me, And I think they liked that about me. I got along with everybody. And when it was time to use the ring and spar, I waited my turn instead of saying, "Hey, no, listen, I'm Paulie Malignaggi. I get the ring next." I did my sparring when it was my turn. If sometimes you'd get dressed up in sparring gear and you'd have to wait for the ring. And I did that. I liked being part of I like that camaraderie, and you can't have that camaraderie if you feel like you're superior to anybody else. So I really enjoyed my time at Wildcard, and I got a lot of respect there as well. But the Pacquiao stuff, it goes back to, I always felt that performance-enhancing drugs were a big part of sports, but I just felt that in combat sports, since there was a camaraderie among fighters where fighters talk about, we risk our lives. We always kind of talk about that, and people talk about that. So I felt like, that's kind of a known thing. So you kind of don't, this is, of course, me in my 20s, me also being a lot more naive. I think because guys always talk like this, I feel like there's a sort of unwritten rule and a camaraderie that you don't use performance-enhancing drugs because we know we're risking our lives in there and we can get killed. And guys do get killed. So I felt like because of this fact, I felt like everybody would think about it like the way I was thinking about it, which is, you want to succeed, but you don't want to put yourself in a position where you may kill somebody or really certainly cause a lot of harm to somebody because you're doing something like that. And I did an interview when they signed the Cotto Pacquiao fight. I did an interview, and I get a lot of criticism for this. At Yankee Stadium when they had the press conference in 2009 or summer 2009 when they announced it, and I said that if he wins this fight, he may be the greatest of all time. And I get a lot of slack for having said that, but I have to give you the explanation. You have to take the context of what I said. So I had always seen Pacquiao as a very offensive-minded fighter, an attacking-minded fighter all the time. He wasn't very defensively responsible ever, in the time I had seen him before that, And a defensively responsible fighter is the only kind of fighter that I felt can go up in weight and handle the punching power of bigger guys. Because as you go up in weight, doesn't matter how much muscle you put on, doesn't matter how much strength you put on, you're still never going to be as strong naturally as the guys whose weight class you're joining who are already there naturally, who are naturally just bigger than you, stronger than you, Doesn't matter how much muscle you put on, you're not going to be stronger than those guys unless you're doing something out of the ordinary. So when I said that I feel like he may be the greatest of all time if he's able to beat Cotto, it's for two reasons. I had fought Cotto, and to that point, and he's still to this point, the strongest puncher I ever fought in my life. Super strong puncher at 140 pounds. And Pacquiao was not a very defensively responsible fighter. So I said he's going to go in there, fight like Pacquiao. He's going to go in there really looking to fight and then looking to make this a crazy fight, and it's going to be exciting. But he's going to run into too much firepower. I mean, he's just not going to be able to handle this kind of firepower and he's not going to be able to get Cotto's respect because now he's up too many weight classes. I mean, Cotto is at welterweight now, and Cotto's a big guy, so at least a stocky figure, I said, there's just too much he's going to be dealing with. I just don't see how he can deal with this. He's going to be getting hit. And in the fight, when the fight happened, he didn't exactly fight a defensively responsible fight. He just went right to Cotto, took the shots. I think he even had his, after the fight, he even had his right ear wrapped up because the eardrum busted from all the Cotto left hooks. Because at that time, if you remember, guys on the right side of people's faces when they fought Cotto was always banged up, including mine when I fought Cotto. He was just so strong with that hook. And it's not like Pacquiao fought a defensively responsible fight. He went in there, took the shots, and just returned fire. And not only was taking the shots and returning fire, they weren't even affecting him. They weren't making him tired. Like, even if you have a great chin, you take that kind of firepower, you're going to wither down. You're going to get tired. You're going to, kind of fall apart a little bit, even if you get able to hang tough. It never was like that for Pacquiao. I mean, he went right to Cotto. Cotto did hit him. He hit Cotto. He hurt Cotto, which, not out of the ordinary, but it is a little bit out of the ordinary when a guy's that much bigger than you. But nonetheless, whatever. I mean, I remember one knockdown, he hit him. He wasn't even planted. He was in midair when he threw the punch. So you got no leverage on those kind of punches, and he was able to knock him down. Make a long story short, I watched this fight, and about halfway through it, I'm like, wow, this guy thinks we're all suckers. Like, this guy, whatever this guy's on is crazy, man. I mean, this guy's just like a punching machine, at a higher weight class, not with no respect for the punching power at all, for the massive punching power that he's in there against, and it's not even affecting him. Anyway, he gets the stoppage, and I thought the next day people were all going to be questioning it, just like I was questioning it, and instead it was just all full of praise and whatnot. And so I thought, like, hey guys, it's kind of like this though, like, what are you guys saying? And in the ensuing years, people, gave a lot of criticism for that. I guess, I'd have to say that my mindset has changed since then. Not so much in a forgiving fashion, but more so in realizing that basically the entire sport is on performance-enhancing drugs. So I can't singly pinpoint one guy just because he may have done it better than everybody else. He may have had, the better cocktails and the better combination of things than anybody else. I've also spoken to people that were on the inside that basically founded this statement that I'm saying, that people that were there knew him, and basically told me, like, yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, anybody could see it even if they don't know, but I'll tell you, yes, I saw it myself, So I thought I was fighting for the betterment of the sport. Now we're here over a decade later. Everybody's on it, man. So I can't get mad at the guy who who may have done it better than everybody else. Honestly, I can get mad at the sport itself and the system itself, and the fact that it allows this kind of thing. And then when somebody dies and somebody gets a massive brain injury, they pretend they care, and they go through like a week of like, oh, we have to respect these guys. They put their lives on the line, and then they just move on, business as usual. Absolutely no drug testing, and whatever else they do. They let the fighters decide when they get tested and when they don't get tested. And nobody pays for the drug testing, even though the money is absolutely astronomical in boxing. Nobody wants to put up money for the drug testing. The sanctioning bodies don't care. I spoke to Margaret Goodman at VADA. She told me, she has the random drug testing situation, but she just doesn't have enough money to test all these guys on a regular basis, because I was in the top 15 when VADA implemented that WBC top 15 fighters will get randomly tested. I got tested once in 6 months, and I asked Margaret Goodman, why was that? She said, we just don't have the money to consistently test everybody, which is, she told me, the WBC, all these sanctioning bodies have the money. They just don't pay for it. Of course not, because it's better off to create a megastar, even if he may be juicing, than it is to constantly get guys knocked off one after another, which to me would be more exciting. But then again, you never get like a favorite fighter that just beats everybody and you can look at him like a superhero, like you never get that then, let's face it, even Ali would win and lose and win and lose, and everybody still loved them. But I guess people have changed since then, Nonetheless, that's the story of where it stems from. It does not stem from Wildcard. Obviously after the Cotto fight, I continued to see these kind of performances. The Margarito fight, where he didn't even clench once, and just in a rapid pace fight, he just kept punching and punching and punching. I thought it was crazy. Because sometimes you need a clinch just to slow the pace down. It's not even for the fact that you're hurt. Like when I was fighting, I would use these strategic clinches to slow the pace of the fight down, because if it was getting too crazy, and to never clinch in 12 rounds and just have a fast paced fight like I fought in the Margarito fight, I thought was absolutely crazy as well. But regardless, like I said, not my perception, but my viewpoint has changed in so much that I don't necessarily blame one person. I can't just blame a Canelo, or I can't just blame a Pacquiao. I can't just blame a single individual when you have an entire sport that is in this filth. So that's the backstory of it, and that's why I don't really criticize it anymore, because until the actual sport makes a difference on things, I can't do things myself. And if I start pinpointing one guy or another guy, usually they're people's favorite fighters, and people don't want their favorite fighters insulted, so they come after you. So people don't really want to change the situation anyway.